Hello everybody, Dick Coughlan here. This is going to be a bit more of a sort of a rambling, unedited vlog style video, but this is something that I've wanted to put out there for a bit. If you've been in my live streams, you've probably heard me express this a few times, and it's something I've seen posted again, and it's something I've never really had a satisfactory answer for. And I want to make this clear: if you can listen to what I'm saying and just wait to the end of the video, because I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to, but what the best way to deal with this is, because what this is a position of mine where I'm going to be challenging, so to speak, what you would consider to be part of more sort of modern day left-wing political dogma, so to speak, and for want of a better term, because recently there's been this stuff in the news about Justin Trudeau in blackface and that, and I don't want to talk about whether or not blackface is racist or not. I'm not going to get into that stupid, pointless debate. But here's the thing, and I see a lot of people posting this, and this is something that I've seen posted by people, for years, for many years. This has been a general sort of overall consensus, and you would have heard this no matter what side of the debate, of the argument you lay on, and that is that if you're a white person, you don't get to decide. Let black people or let non-white people decide whether or not something's racist or not. Or if you're talking about an issue of homophobia, let gay people decide whether, if you're straight, stay out of it. If you're cis, don't get involved. You don't get to decide, but let transgender people decide what's transgender, and so on and so forth. And I get that. I get how that sounds. But here's the problem. Here's a couple of problems I have with that line of thinking. Which, when it comes to issues of race, okay, I have to listen to black people. My question then becomes, which black people do I listen to? Do I listen to Cornel West? Do I listen to Al Sharpton? Do I listen to Louis Farrakhan? Do I listen to Jesse Lee Peterson? When it comes to issues of homophobia, do I listen to which gay people do I listen to? Should I listen to Milo Yiannopoulos? He's gay. And by the extension and the logic of that kind of that rule, that let gay people decide, well, if I choose to, as a straight person, say, well, what would I know? Milo Yiannopoulos is gay, I'll listen to him. When it comes to transgender people, should I listen to ContraPoints? Should I listen to Cat Black? Or should I listen to Blair White? You see, the problem is with this argument of let minority group X decide, stay out of it. It only really works if we live in this idealistic world where all of these minority groups have a consensus on what something is. But we don't live in that world, do we? The truth is, black people, gay people, transgender people, women, men, whites, black, we all have different points of view and opinions on it. So sitting there and saying that, you don't get to decide is kind of, a problem, because then the question comes, okay, then who do I listen to? Who should I should I listen to the majority? What the majority of them say? Because then there comes the problem of, we're letting the majority determine something, whereas these groups are a minority of themselves. So, but also, here's the other problem, is that, let's take the issue of race. Now, racism, if you followed my channel and you followed my video, I've done, probably most of the subject I've covered more than any other in my time on YouTube is the issue of racism, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and when I made all of those videos, I made them all just on the assumption that I could tell what was racist and what wasn't. I used my common sense, my empathy. I looked at it and thought, I didn't, before any of those videos, you look at any of the videos I've made where I respond to a white racist, at no point before any of those videos, I didn't ring up a black friend and say, I'm responding to this guy called Davis Orini, and he's saying that, he's pointing out things about slavery, like the slaves are treated very well. Is that because I could use my common sense to sort of work out for myself, hey, do you know what? If I was in that position and I heard that, what would I think? I don't need someone to tell me. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm always right, and I'm always willing to, of course I'm going to listen to what women or transgender people or homosexuals or people who are ethnic minorities have to say. Of course I'm going to listen to them. Of course, I'm always going to listen to them. But that doesn't really answer the question. But to sit there and just say, for me, it's like, people were all too happy, for me to make videos in which I attack, go after, sexist men or white racists. And for me to label these people as racists, or to label what they're saying as racist, despite the fact, and no one at any point did anyone stop me and say, hold on, Rich, did you check beforehand with black people? Did you do a comprehensive survey? No, I didn't. I just used my common sense. And I came to a conclusion based on, based on sort of like, my own, using my own intelligence. Now, that's not always the only factor I use, but in some cases, more often than not, let's be fair here, I think it's fair to say, I tend to get it right. I can't think of many videos I've made responding to someone who's racist where people have said, hold on, Rich, you've done him unfair here. So this is my this is it. So this is my question: is that it's all very well to sit there and say, oh, if you're a man, you don't get to decide what's sexist. If you're cis, you don't get to decide what's transphobic. If you're straight, you don't get to decide what's homophobic. If you're white, you don't get to decide what's racist. I get that. It's all very well saying that, right? But then the problem comes is that they don't all agree, and I'm not an idiot. So my question is, what is the point? What good does that, when we say this, who are we actually talking to? What good does that mentality actually do? And how are people like me supposed to just carry on regardless when that point of view, is a complete slap in the face to everything I've done on YouTube. So tell me, I want to know. Thanks very much. And let's keep it vaguely civil.